Okay, magandang araw po muli sa lahat. This is Attorney Aldrin B. Gregorio. So, nakakuha ka na ba ng letter of authority? Ano ba ang iyong mga karapatan, okay, bilang isang taxpayer? So, this is a topic na bumabagabag sa marami nating kababayan, especially sa ating mga kababayan na business owners. This keeps them awake at night, di ba? Yung BIR tax assessment. So, magkaroon lang tayo ng brief discussion on how to go about this, no? Kasi, syempre, alam naman natin na medyo technical yung rules pagdating sa ating buwis, no? Sa ating taxes. And sometimes even one wrong move in handling your BIR assessment could cost you millions in penalties. Sometimes meron pang nakakasuhan ng criminal, di ba? So, medyo ano to, this is nothing na could be taken for granted. But don't worry, that's exactly why we're here today. Discuss natin para makatulong tayo doon sa ating mga kababayan na nag-aalala. So, pag nakatanggap sila ng letter of authority or whether you're just right now you're in the middle of an audit, so let's give some guidelines kung ano yung mga karapatan natin, pag-usapan natin how to verify if your letter of authority is valid, ganyan, proper ways to handle the audit, no, the examination. So pag-usapan po natin yung mga bagay na yan. So first things first, uh, letter of authority, okay, letter, okay. Usapan natin ang letter of authority. Okay, Attorney Aldrin. Okay, ano ba yung letter of authority na yan? Okay, tong LA na to, this is where everything begins. This is where the tax audit starts, no? Um, so what exactly is this letter of authority, Attorney Aldrin? It's just it's a written authorization, no? From the Bureau of Internal Revenue that empowers a revenue officer. Sino ba yung revenue officer? Ito po yung kawani ng BIR, ng Bureau of Internal Revenue. To do what exactly, attorney? Okay? Ano pong trabaho ni revenue officer? Okay? Ang trabaho niya is to examine the taxpayers within their district jurisdiction para makakolekta ng sapat at tamang amount ng buwis or magrekomenda ng assessment if ever merong deficiency tax due o merong error, ganyan. Attorney Aldrin, ah, bakit ba kailangan pa ng letter of authority? Alam naman natin na BIR ang may karapatan dyan. Di ba? Listen carefully. The power to examine a taxpayer who already filed his returns belongs to the Commissioner Office of Internal Revenue. Okay? Yung Commissioner of the BIR or his authorized representative. Meaning, the default is the Commissioner. Ano doon, yung exception to the rule or addition to the rule is that yung kanyang authorized representative. Ngayon, kailangan ng written authorization para ibig sabihin si CIR, yaman din lamang na siya ay binigyan ng karapatan at kapangyarihan ng batas o sige, revenue officer, on my behalf and on behalf of the tax code, ikaw ay may written authorization. So, very important na malaman natin na ang isang letter of authority, ano yan, meron niyang serial number. So, lagi nyo checkin yan. Kasi yan, minomonitor yan ng BIR National Office. So, tingnan natin, according to RMO, no, 44-2010, okay? Sabi dito, wala nang manual letter of authority, BIR 4 1965 after July 1, 2010. Bakit Atty. Aldrin, ba't meron pang letter of authority? Nagkaroon na po ng pagbabago, nagkaroon po ng update, nagkaroon po ng technological advancement. So, ibig sabihin, meron na tayong tinatawag na electronic letters of authority, okay? Otherwise known as okay, ELA. Okay? Sa ating discussion, I will interchange yung electronic letter of authority and letter of authority. Okay? Interchangeable naman yan. So, huwag kayong malilito. Um, ayun. So, sabi dito, no? Sabi dun sa kanilang rules, ah, ah, first, yung daw letter of authority, okay? dapat may name, dapat may designation, dapat may electronic signature, no? Dapat may e-signature ng appropriate BIR official. So, kailangan makita yung ano dyan, yung investigating office at yung approving official. Sabi sa rules, no, dapat yung dapat daw may serial number. Kasi nga sabi ko sa'yo kanina, minomonitor yan. Okay? System generated naman yan. Hindi naman yan sinulat kamay. Okay? Meron yung printing date. Okay? Tapos kailangan tatlong kopya yan. Yung original, makukuha mo bilang isang taxpayer. Yung duplicate, nasa case docket. At yung triplicate, nandun sa investigating office. Okay, next, no? Next. The revenue officer's name must be printed. I repeat, the revenue officer's name must be printed sa letter of authority. Okay, sino ba ang lead revenue officer dyan? Siya yung pangalan na nag-a-appear sa umpisa. Okay, so Ah, ano pa bang kailangan na dyan sa electronic letter of authority, otherwise known as letter of authority, no? Para masabi natin yan ay valid at hindi yan isang ah, invalid o void, okay? Kailangan nakasulat dyan yung tax types, nakasulat dyan yung basehan ng kanilang audit, like regular audit program, special audit, taxable period, kailangan nakalagay din dyan. So, tandaan nyo, kailangan walang any manual writing, ha? Walang kahit letra, numero, erasure. Importante na lahat yan printed lang. Ibig sabihin, system generated. Bakit? Kasi isang electronic document eh. Meron kasing verification yan, no? Wherein the taxpayer, ikaw bilang taxpayer, you can verify the validity of your letter of authority with the BIR official using the contact details provided. So, nandiyan naman yan. Sino ba ang magsaserve? Okay, yung revenue officer na nakapangalan sa document. Any one of them. Okay, any one of the revenue officers uh, who serves. Okay, any one of the revenue officers named in the document, yan, pwede kanyang servan yan. Ng, okay, ng um, ILA, Letter of Authority. Ngayon, tingnan natin to, no? Tignan mo to, tignan mo to, tignan mo mabuti. Maraming nalilito dito. Okay, sabi ng uh, RAMO 1-2000. Okay? Kailangan daw within 30 days from issuance, ma-serve ang letter of authority sa taxpayer. 30 days. Otherwise, sabi na rin ng Court of Tax Appeals, beyond that period, void na ang letter of authority unless ma-revalidate. Okay? 30 days na. Okay? Unless ma-revalidate, therefore, taxpayer can refuse the service can beyond 30 days. But be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, no? Be very careful. Be very, very careful. Kasi ito pong 30 days na to, ah, meron ng bagong rule. Itong 1-2020. Okay? So after 20 years, no? Sabi nito, wala na po yung 30-day requirements, sir, ma'am. Wala na po. Wala na po yung 30-day requirement. Pwede kahit kailan i-serve. Ganun ba, Attorney Aldrin? Kahit next year pa? Kahit in the next, hindi naman ganun. Hindi naman ganun po. Meron pong RMC, no, na kinaklarify, no? Hindi pwedeng arbitrary delay. All okay, okay. Sige, wala na tong 30 days na to na sinabi ng 1-2000. Okay. Okay, granted. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na kung kailan mo gusto i-serve, Okay, kunyari ikaw isang revenue officer, kung kailan mo gusto i-serve, ay nako, sige, next year na lang. Okay, sa Christmas ko na lang isa-serve. Nako, mukhang marami na sa Christmas. O sige, sa Christmas ko na, hindi pwede. Arbitrary ho yan at kina-clarify rin ho ng BIR rules yan. Meron pa ring deadline na 180 days, no? For revenue district offices at 240 for large taxpayers from when? From the date of the issuance. Okay? From the date of the issuance. Now, very important. Hindi pwedeng tanggihan ng taxpayer ang letter of authority just because it was served after 30 days, ha? Walang grounds for refusal based on late service. Di ba? So, ibig sabihin ba nun, wala nang consequence kung ma-delay? Okay? Kasi baka merong mag-ano sa inyo, no? Meron kayong accountant or bookkeeper na sabi, naku, huwag kang maniwala kay Attorney Aldrin. Ito ma'am, ito sir, papakita ko sa inyo na mali yang si Attorney Aldrin na yan. Okay? Mali ang pinagsasabi niyan. Kasi ito sabi ng Court of Tax Appeals sa kaso ng Dakay Construction versus Commission of Internal Revenue, Commissioner of Internal Revenue. CTA and bank pa nagsabi niyan. O, kanino kayo maniniwala? Sa CTA kay Attorney Aldrin. O, naku, sa Court of Tax Appeals maniniwala. Sabi dito, ma'am sir, no? Kanyari, kausap niyo yung accountant niyo. Sabi dito, invalid ang letter of authority beyond 30 days. Okay, beyond 30 days of service. Invalid. So, you can refuse. The problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, is that was already under the old rule. Yung decision na to ng CTA. Okay, hindi na po applicable ngayon. So, ibig sabihin ba, Attorney Aldrin, the revenue officer can just go his merry ways, go her merry ways, and just serve it however, whenever, wherever way he or she wants. Hindi naman po. Hindi naman. Kasi under RMO 53-2010, no? Sabi dito sa rule na to, pwedeng ma-sanction si revenue officer for gross neglect of duty kung very arbitrary ang delay niya sa pag-serve ng letter of authority. Okay, so hindi na po kailangang i-revalidate kung beyond 30 days ang letter of authority. Okay, no need to revalidate yan. Still valid and effective. Pero syempre dapat, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, dapat naman tapusin niyo yung audit niyo within 180 days, no? Ah, tapusin mo yung audit mo for 180 days for RDO, no? 240 days tapusin mo yung audit mo for large taxpayers. 240 days and 180 days. Okay? Okay, next. Modes of service, paano ba sinaserve, Attorney Aldrin, ang letter of authority? No? Tingnan natin to. Okay, tingnan natin. Ito yung kaninang sinight ko, no? Hindi, ito yun. RMC 110. Sabi dito sa rule na to, no? Sabi dito sa Revenue Memorandum Circular, sabi sa rule na to, ilan ba ang modes of service na meron? Ilan? Tatlo. Okay? Personal. Okay? Substituted at substituted at by mail. Okay, so tatlo, no? Tatlo. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, no? Sabi ko sa na rule na kanina ko, sinight ko na rule sa inyo, o sino pwede mag-serve? Any revenue officer na nakasulat sa letter of authority. Okay? So, discuss natin point by point. First, first, personal service. Ito ang preferred mode. Ma'am, ito ang preferred mode, sir. Ibig sabihin, personal delivery sa registered known address ng taxpayer. What do we mean by known address? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng naku, ang daming nagkakagulo dito. Ano ba ang known address? Okay? Known address, pwedeng business place, pwedeng residence, basta may business activities. Okay? Basta may business activities doon. Attorney Aldrin, what if not possible na? What if hindi posible ang person service? Hindi ko makita doon. Punta ako ng punta. Sabi, sabi ng guard, nakabakasyon po. Eh, tapos nung punta ako, wala na naman. Punta ulit ako, wala na naman. Sabi ng revenue officer, anong gagawin natin dyan, Torny? Nako, kailangan ng substituted service na. Okay? O kaya by mail. Pero syempre, i-prioritize mo naman, i-personal mo muna bago mo sabing imposible. Bago mo sabing, ay, imposibleng iserve, subukan mo muna at patunayan mo na sinubukan mo. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the implication, what I'm trying to imply is that substituted service is allowed only kung imposible na yung personal. Wala yung party sa address, ganyan. Di ba? So, sa substituted sa substituted service, sige, punta ka sa registered address. No, punta ka sa registered address. Punta ka. Ito yung statement ko, sinasabi ko sa revenue officer. Okay? Registered address, punta ka. O pwede na ngayon sa clerk or person in charge. Okay? Business place, pwede clerk or person in charge. Sa residence mo pinuntahan, person of legal age that is living there. No, hindi pwede yung may bisita ka na, kunyari, ikaw si revenue officer, punta ka doon sa bahay na may conducting business activities ng taxpayer. At it turns out na yung tatay ng taxpayer nandun, hindi naman nakatira doon. Bumisita lang galing sa probinsya. Pwede ba bang servan? Hindi. Hindi pwede. O kaya kapatid, dumalaw lang naman. Dinalaw lang yung pamangkin. Abay, sinordang ng letter of authority. Bawal. Okay? So, ngayon, kung walang tao, ayaw tanggapin, punta ka ngayon sa barangay. Okay? At humingi ka ng tulong sa kapitan. Okay? Kailangan mo pa mo ng isang barangay official at dalawang disinterested witnesses. Okay? Witnesses na disinterested. Anong ibig ko sabihin? Yung kumbaga, hindi sila interesado talaga na ma-prosecute yan kung ano man yan o kung ano. Hindi sila connected sa BIR. O kaya hindi sila BIR employees. Ganyan. So, okay, kung walang tao, okay, walang tawag dito, ayaw tanggapin, hindi ko tatanggapin yan, bahala ka sa buhay. O sige, punta tayo sa barangay at two disinterested witnesses. Okay? So ngayon, puntahan tayo sa service by mail ng letter of authority. Tatlong paraan ng service by mail. Okay? Una, registered mail with instruction sa postmaster to return kung 10 days hindi pa na-deliver. Okay? Pwede rin via courier. Okay? Finally, ordinary mail. Kung walang registry, walang courier dun sa lugar na yon. Hindi ako sure kung meron pang lugar sa Pilipinas na walang registry, wala ding courier. Okay? So, yan yung mga bagay na dapat mong tandaan kapag ikaw ay na-audit ng revenue officer, ng BIR. So, um, yun yung mga, ito yung mga items na kailangan mong tignan. Hindi pwedeng mag-proceed sa audit without actual receipt, no? Nung letter of authority. Or kung substituted yan, kailangan may actual receipt. Kung mail yan, kung courier ang service, kailangan matanggap. Bakit? Syempre, meron tayong tinatawag na due process. Okay? So, so, so kapag naman na minail yan, okay, deemed served na siya on the mailing date kung registered yan or ordinary mail. Kung courier, actual receipt date. Okay? Kung courier, actual receipt date. Kung substituted, syempre, effective on date of completion. So, Ngayon, sabi ko nga sa'yo kanina, kung walang hindi natanggap ng taxpayer ang letter of authority, hindi pwedeng pilitin na mag-submit ng dokumento. Due process po. Kasi hindi nga niya alam na may audit na nangyayari. Pasasubmitin mo. So, hindi po pwede. Okay? Hindi po pwede yun. So, yun yung mga some of the items that you need to understand, no? About BIR assessments. Some items na, siyempre, regarding this assessments, remember that knowledge is your best defense. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta na lang tayo pumayag na nilalagari ka, ganyan. Kailangan meron pa rin due process, kailangan sinusunod pa rin po yung patakaran na sila mismo ang nagpatupad, no? At yung batas din, syempre yung batas. So, yun. Kung may questions kayo, leave them in the comments section below at I'll try as much as I can to answer them one by one. So, again, thank you. This is Attorney Alvin B. Gregorio.